Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Still recovering from the COVID, but I feel totally fine. Yeah, I feel great. My eyes are burning. Today I've got for you guys a subscriber's choice video. You guys gave me your answers on what you say are the absolute best fragrances from the world's hugest, most popular fragrance lines. Basically, the best of the best of the best, with a little caveat. I told you guys that you had to give me what you feel like is the best fragrance from the biggest fragrance lines, but it can't be the most hyped one from those lines. So for example, Yves Saint Laurent Y, huge fragrance line. Everybody knows that one of the best-selling fragrance lines in the world. And the biggest fragrance in that line is Y Eau de Parfum. But what if you thought that Y Eau de Parfum was not actually the best one? Maybe Y Live or Y Eau Fraiche. And you guys gave me your answers and upvoted other people's answers, and that's what I've got for you guys here today. The absolute best fragrances from the world's biggest fragrance lines, but it can't be the most hyped one. That's too obvious. All of these are going to be linked in the description. Feel free to check them out there. And if you want to be in a future video, check out the community tab of the YouTube channel. There's always a question there where you can leave your fragrance answer or upvote somebody else's so that theirs might pop up on a future video. Let's start off with Kevin O73, who says, of all the fragrances in the Givenchy Gentleman line, my favorite is the Eau de Toilette Intense. The basil note gives it a mint-like lift, while the scent can be worn in any season, dressed up or down. So when it comes to the Gentleman line, probably the most hyped would be Reserve Privé. At least that's the one that I would say gets the most hype. And that one is fantastic, by the way. This is not a video where I say, oh, the most hyped one sucks and all these. No, that's not the case. Usually when something is the most hyped, it's for a good reason. But the Gentleman line does have some absolute bangers that don't get hyped, like Reserve Privé, but deserve to, and this is one of them. So I completely agree with that. I also agree that you can wear this in about any season, and it smells similarly to Dior Homme Eau, which is discontinued and hard to find. I can barely smell that. Nose, come back to me. I got like 15% scent smell power. This sucks. Dang it. But yeah, this one, really good during spring. It's one that works very well casually. As he says, you can also wear this in more formal occasions. You can wear this to the office very easily. It's gonna stand out against most fragrances that people are wearing when you compare it to like the really, really big sellers out there, like your Eros, your Y, Bleu de Chanel, Sauvage, myself, stuff like that. This stands out really well. I think it's a fantastic fragrance, fantastic choice, and really in line with what I was thinking about for this list. Then we got Jacob Para 4353, who says the OG light blue Pour Homme from Dolce & Gabbana. Everyone talks about the Intense or Italian Love, but that one still gets me so many compliments. So this one's an interesting choice for a couple of reasons. The first reason is because this, in actuality, is the most popular one from the line. So it kind of goes against what I was talking about, that it couldn't be the biggest hype beast from the line. But if you're talking about within the fragrance community, for sure, Intense and Italian Love have gotten more hype than this. Well, lately. But if we're just talking about sales, in terms of how many people are buying it, the original is the best seller in the light blue line. So yeah, that makes it kind of interesting. It's actually the most popular, so there's that part. But then in terms of hype, it's not the most popular. So if you don't have access to sales numbers, and I've gone over sales numbers in the past on my channel, you can look up like, the top 10 best-selling fragrances from 2023, 2022, and I've got different videos where I go over those. Actually, I think I did the top 30 last year and the top 40 this year. And when I say that, I mean I filmed it this year, but it was for last year, and when I filmed it last year, it was for the year before that. But if you're unfamiliar with what's really selling bottles at retail stores, check those videos out. Anyway, back to this one. Like I said, it's selling bottles, but in terms of hype, you would think it ain't. And truth be told, I do like Italian Love more than this one. And I do like Intense more than this one. But Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, the OG, absolutely gets the job done. It is a big compliment puller, and there's a reason that it still sells so well. And that's because people buy it, they wear it, they buy it again, they wear it, they buy it again, repeat. It's one of those things that's just tried, tested, and true. It works well, and people will keep going back to it. Then we have George Sells Homes, who says, Coach Platinum always seems to go unnoticed when people talk about the best from Coach. It's personally my favorite of the bunch. Give it the love it deserves. Yeah, when it comes to Coach for Men, it's not like a massive line of fragrances in the sense that you don't have a whole bunch of different flankers out there, because you basically got the original Coach for Men, Coach Platinum, Coach Blue, Coach Green. Pretty simple. And when it comes to Coach, it's usually the original, Coach for Men. That's the one that gets talked about the most. Coach Green has a good amount of people that really enjoy that one also. But Coach Platinum sometimes does fall a little bit by the wayside. And for the price, it's a great bang for your buck. It doesn't cost that much. Big compliment puller, super versatile. For a time when this first came out, people kind of compared it to like Coach's take on a Dior Sauvage-esque fragrance. It's not super duper close to Dior Sauvage or anything like that, but you know, it's got a similar kind of fresh ambroxany feel to it. It has vanilla, leather, black pepper, cashmere as some of the notes in the fragrance, and I do think it does get overlooked. I would spray this out right now and get a nice little whiff of it, but you know. And so for guys on a budget, Coach Platinum, absolutely check that stuff out. For a lot of people out there, it might actually work better than Coach for Men, which is also good. Okay, how do I say this? I'm sorry, I apologize ahead of time. This is gonna sound bad. Gaia Aquilian, oh my God. Gaia Aquilian Guayaquil Independiente, 8763. Oh my God, I just realized what that says. Guayaquil Independiente, 8763. It was just all running together, and then my brain worked for 32 milliseconds. I still butchered the pronunciation, but at least I understand what it says now. It took me way too long. It's Ecuador. It's Ecuador! Anyway, back to this. You don't hear much about the original Allure Homme. It really is a fantastic perfume that constantly gets overlooked. The peach in that is absolutely beautiful. And this is another really, really, really good choice, because Allure Homme kicked off the whole line, and it basically gets forgotten, at least compared to its more popular flanker brothers. Because really with the introduction of Allure Homme Sport, that kind of became what people think of as Allure Homme, right? People were like Allure Homme Sport, Eau Extreme, even the cologne version. And now you've got the new Super Leggera coming out, and you've also got Edition Blanche. So all of those seem to get a little more play than the OG Allure Homme. And even though this stuff came out in, I think it was the late 90s, it actually still works really well. And there are not a whole lot of fragrances from that time frame that still smell contemporary. So Allure Homme, another fantastic choice. This stuff gets overlooked. If you've never smelled this and you see it in a store, check it out. Then we got one from Tyler Haley, 8478, who says 1 Million Royal is still my favorite from the line. The mixture of classical with lavender and cedar and the sweeter aspects of this fragrance line make this concoction amazing. All right, let's see how much I can get of 1 Million Royal. All right, there's 3 sprays. Let's go. Not a ton. So this one has cardamom, tangerine, lavender, some resinous notes as well as it dries down, a little bit of woods. It is a very warm, sweet fragrance, compliment puller, of course. Good performance, as you would expect from a Paco Rabanne fragrance. Some people drew comparisons to 1 Million Elixir with this one, but I do think they've got a pretty good difference between the two. 1 million elixir, a bit sweeter with a good amount of vanilla in there, a little bit of rose as well. Whereas this one is sweet, yes, but also has warm, spicy aspects to it as well. And as far as the 1 million line goes, yeah, 1 million Royal, I don't think gets anywhere near as much hype as 1 million Lucky, 1 million Elixir, 1 million Parfum even, depending on, you know, who we're talking about. Because some people really love 1 million Parfum, other people not as much, but it still gets talked about more than Royal, and even maybe the original 1 million. Nicholas Exclusif is up next, who says, I'm going with the original Terre Eau de Toilette. The Pure Parfum and Eau Givre seem to be the current community darlings, but for me the OG still has that something special compared to the others. A cold, mineralic, woody profile that has and will always work for me, and on my skin, I actually get really great performance and longevity. Easy top 5 of all time for me. Yeah, I'd say Eau Givre gets a lot of hype. I know that as far as Terre goes, that's probably the one I talk about the most often. It definitely is, actually. And I like the Eau de Toilette and the Parfum about the same. I think they're both fantastic. Just really depends on, you know, where you're going, what you're doing. Between the two, I've worn the Eau de Toilette more, so actually maybe I do like the Eau de Toilette a little more than the Parfum. Just a little more versatile. And Terre has always been one of those fragrance lines that is a little bit love it or hate it. Not as extreme as some other fragrances out there, some other fragrance lines, but the vetiver in here, the flintiness that's in here, some people really dislike that. I think it gives it character, makes it more unique. But yeah, it can be one of those ones that's sometimes a little bit take it or leave it. I take it. Don't do that. Side WF8PZ says, ooh yeah, Luna Rossa Black over Luna Rossa Ocean. Something about that creamy, sweet, spicy, slightly rubbery scent profile is just so mysterious and enticing. It's hard for me to get my nose off of it. It's easily my favorite fragrance in the Luna Rossa line. Yes, 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 yes. Luna Rossa Black is my favorite too. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I can tell that it's Luna Rossa Black. That's an improvement. Nice. Everything he said, I echo. I think this stuff is fantastic, stands out quite a bit. You know, it's very unique compared to the other fragrances still available on the market. It's very unique in the Luna Rossa line. So it's just one of those ones that all the way across the board, I like it. Luna Rossa Ocean is more versatile and easier to wear for more people than Luna Rossa Black, but I think that's the better fragrance. Lamont EJ90 says Spicebomb Night Vision Eau de Parfum. Kept it real simple. And with Spicebomb, it was this one and then Infrared popped up a few times. And that makes sense because with Spicebomb, I think most people would say Extreme is the most hyped one. And so if that scent profile doesn't work for you as much, and Night Vision does, Infrared does, you know, the original Spicebomb works better for you, whatever, then those are gonna be like the ones you instantly say, well, that one's the most hyped, but this one's actually the best for me. And nobody's gonna argue with you probably that Spicebomb Extreme is the most hyped, so. And I do think for a lot of people, Night Vision Eau de Parfum or Infrared Eau de Parfum would be better choices because they go about the fragrance style in a very different way than Spicebomb Extreme. Spicebomb Extreme, a lot of spice obviously, right off the rip. You get some black vanilla as it dries down. A little more intense probably for some people than Night Vision or Infrared. Infrared, a lot of sweetness, very spicy sweetness, but still a lot of sweetness. Night Vision here, a little bit more of a contemporary kind of sweetness, but then also a little bit fresh, touch of aromatics in there as well. Actually has a ton of notes and a lot of them are green, and that way it can fit in with the Night Vision aesthetic. Dr. Design 6886 says sacrilege, but Dior Homme 2020, best in the line. Ooh, ooh, that's a take. Dior Homme is a storied line of fragrances. You got the original Dior Homme, which also changed over time before Dior Homme 2020, Dior Homme Sport, Dior Homme Intense, Dior Homme Parfum, discontinued fragrances like Dior Homme Eau. So there's a lot going on with Dior Homme. And a lot of those fragrances were based around iris, used in differing degrees, but still iris. I think a lot of people out there would go Dior Homme Intense, Dior Homme Sport, or Dior Homme Parfum if they were gonna pick their best in the line over Dior Homme 2020. But I will say, Dior Homme 2020 is a great release. I hated it initially. I was very butthurt that they changed Dior Homme up in such a big way. But I think this stuff slaps. I mean, it's a really good, fresh, modern fragrance. Good touch of spice in there, very woodsy. Classy, sexy, elegant, good for casual use as well. I would not personally myself say that it's my favorite in the line, but I do think it's worthy of being in the line. And that's a big change from when it first came out. Dang it. Do love this stuff though, so no hate at all on Dior Homme 2020. Stuff is solid, rock solid. Last up, we have Andrew Milhone 3568, who says, I think Azzaro Wanted by Night is better than anything in the more hyped Most Wanted line. The spicy blend in that scent is just chef's kiss. So Wanted by Night, I do think is more unique than anything in the Most Wanted line, for sure. This definitely does its own thing, and I think that it smells fantastic. I love Wanted by Night, especially when it used to be mad cheap. Those times have gone, but at one point in time, this was like 25 bucks at discounters. That was just goofy. Like, what an amazing scent for that price point, jeez. The Most Wanted is gonna be better for compliments for more people if that's what they're after. It's definitely a more modern smelling fragrance. It also smells similar to a few other things out there, but it's a really, really well done one, the Most Wanted. Wanted by Night though does hold a place in my heart. It does stand out more. When I smell that, I know immediately what it is because like I said, it's kind of doing its own thing. But I love both, Wanted by Night and the Most Wanted. That said, I do think this is a really good choice. So there we go, guys. There are the fragrances that you chose as the best of the line, even if it's not the most hyped. I want to thank again all of you for submitting your fragrances and upvoting other people's as well. Again, check out the YouTube community tab. You can be in a future video or upvote somebody else's. Stay safe out there, guys. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you all later.